Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss. And I just hoping that everybody's been doing their 15 minutes minimum of laughing per day because it's good for your soul. It's good to release those endorphins. It's also good for starting the day off well, warming up your vocal cords, keeping your abs toned. I'm not saying stop going to the gym, as I told everybody before. But you could do a little bit of that. And don't tell me that you don't have anybody to laugh with, because there's so many options. You could call somebody, you could put something on streaming, you could put something that that you will laugh. And there's just so much things you could do with your, even start laughing with your kids and doing things, because they're going to feel better. Because if you're doing something in a type of job that you're always stern and you got to be strict and formal, that after a while that takes a toll on your body. So you have to release those endorphins all the time, so you can stay youthful and all that other stuff that goes with it. There's so many health benefits to laughing that people don't understand. One pastor said it's even good to be, even if you're laughing at church and the pastor's making jokes and stuff, laugh. It's not just, you don't have to feel, oh my gosh, I can't laugh because I'm in church. You know what I mean? Or something. So, just keep it going. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people, and everybody's saying that they are doing it. It's 15 minutes minimum. So if you go to an hour, it's all the more plus. But I have a real special guest when I come back, and we're going to hear something from vital steps to vital health, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to your Vital Steps to Better Health. I'm Joanne James. Today we're going to talk about exercising in the sun. We all love the sun. It's been the winter. Now we want to get out into the fresh air and enjoy the great weather. However, we have to be very mindful when we're exercising in the sun. First of all, you want to protect your skin at all costs. Regardless of your background, you still need to wear a sunblock of 30 plus. Also, you want to make sure you're wearing a hat to protect your facial skin, as well as glasses to protect your eyes. Also, make sure that you hydrate as you're doing your activities. Sometimes you won't feel that you're thirsty, but in actual fact you are. So make sure you drink. Don't wait to become dehydrated first. And listen to your body. If you start feeling a little nauseous or dizzy or fatigued, that might be signs of a heat stroke. Get into the shade, sit down, and call somebody to assist you. Being out in the sun and exercising is great, but you have to be very, very, very aware of where you are, what you're doing, and make safety your top priority. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. See you next time.
Thank you, Joanne James, for that tip. That's a real good tip. Hydration, people. It doesn't mean alcohol, beer, wine, and all that. That's liquid, but you have to also have hydration, like some water, sparkle water, plain water, coconut water, something that has water. That's going to help you. Because everybody think, well, I had 6 beers, so that's that's some water, and it's not. It's that's not water, and that's not thing that's going to dehydrate you. So you got to do like one. Take a beer, take some water, take a glass of wine or whatever beverage. If you're having a rum punch or whatever you're having, just remember to incorporate some water in the heat, because that does dehydrate you. And some people are not aware of it, even though it feels good going down, but it's actually dehydrating your body. So you have to drink something with it. But anyways, we got a special writer here, and is doing stuff, and we want to find out about the book and how she started, and all about the journey and all the things that's been going on with her. So she's an Indigenous writer, and she created a book called The Poet of Laurate Collingwood. So we're going to find out all about this and all her stuff when just from her right now, anything that she stumbled upon, any kind of stuff, because we always like to hear those things, because that's part of the journey also, not just the successes, but how you got there. So with no further ado, I introduce to you JILLIAN Morris.
Hello.
Hi. I love the earrings.
Oh, thank you. They've got the porcupine quills in there and some beads. So yeah.
Oh,
pretty cool.
So, and it doesn't hook on to anything, so it's good.
Yes.
No, because sometimes you put those earrings in and then they're all in your hair and
Fucking things. And yeah, absolutely.
they're everywhere. They're not supposed to be doing that, but they're all in your in what you're wearing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't.
absolutely.
They must expect you to wear plastic or something. So,
Yeah.
but I guess when you make them, when the people that make them, they don't know at the time. They're just saying, "Oh, this looks really great," but then
Yeah,
when you get it on,
exactly. Yeah.
here it's in your hair. You don't even know the earring's supposed to be your ear, and it's up in your hairdo.
Well, they say the fashion should hurt a little, I guess, right? So
Yes. All right. So here at Real Life Matters, we like to know where they come from and their background, their culture, so people in the other parts of the world can relate to you.
okay, sure. So I'm actually going to start, if you don't mind. I'll introduce myself in my Indigenous language, and then I'll
Yes.
reiterate. Okay, so
Yes.
Jillian Yungets, Ganigahaga, Niwago and Joda, Waganyato, Swego, Nidiwagano. So I just told you that my name is Jillian and that I am Ganigahaga, which actually translates to people of the Flint, but it's also commonly known as Mohawk. And I'm Turtle Clan from Six Nations of the Grand River Territory, which is in Southern Ontario.
Oh,
I'm coming to you from Collingwood, though, today. So I'm
okay.
right now.
Well, that's still a little bit thing, but it's okay. So, that's where most of them reside down there, the Mohawks from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you see, we learn every day. We learn something. We'd always learn something new.
Yeah.
All right. So what made you want to be and to write, to be a writer and to do all that stuff? So how did you come about that lifestyle?
Okay, and just to be clear on the title, the Collingwood Poet Laureate, that's my title with the town of Collingwood. So I'm the Collingwood Poet Laureate, and so I just represent poetry, but then some of the literary arts as well. So I also write a column. And I write a column for Collingwood Today, but it actually has been extended and it's out in all over Ontario now. And so it's really just about giving that Indigenous perspective and trying to build bridges and help people understand a little bit better where we come from and why there is this Indigenous worldview. What does that mean, and why is it different than the Western worldview? And so I just help to kind of bridge those gaps of understanding and bring awareness and things like that. And so what actually happened was I went back to university when I was in my late 20s, and I went to school for public administration and governance. But because it was a partnership with a First Nations institution as well as a university, so it was Ryerson University at the time, now Toronto Metropolitan University.
They changed the name so much time.
Yeah, I mean,
I went there too. When I went there, what was Polytechnical? What is it? The Ryerson Polytechnical.
Polytech, yeah.
And then it went to Ryerson University, and now it's going to Metropolitan. Everybody's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure it's not cheap to change those titles either.
I know. There's a lot of literature and everything that's got to go because they had it all over. They have it very well branded.
Yeah. So it was actually that kind of brought me back into, because I was really studying Indigenous governance, and then specifically, so Ganigahaga, or like Mohawk, is one of the Six Nations that's part of the Haudenosaunee people. Mm-hmm. And so I really focused on Haudenosaunee governance. And it just really brought me back to this, like, well, there's still so much relevance here. And it reminded me too that our governance systems were actually quite sophisticated before colonization, despite the messaging that comes. I mean, we're not really told that. We're told that everybody was primitive and that we didn't have these governance systems and structures and things. And we absolutely did. And so anyway, that intrigued me into really wanting to help other people understand the truth around that. And then I was already into the arts of like doing poetry and things like that since I was young. And arts is just an incredible way to really connect people and build those bridges without people feeling like it's just a gentler way, I think, a lot of times to bring people in around awareness. And so that was kind of the goal. I thought, well, let's use the arts even though my
Okay.
academic background is, more like politics, that kind of thing.
She goes, it's not even related almost to what I'm doing. But when you're younger, you don't know where you're going to be ending up. So when you take your studies and stuff, and you take your things, you don't know where you're going to turn. You just say, okay, maybe you like that, and then you get things added on too. So
Absolutely.
sometimes and that's probably what the case is with you.
Mhm.
And so the paper that you write the column, is it online, or do people actually get a
Yeah.
piece of paper?
Yes, the paper is online now. I don't even think they do a hard copy anymore. So,
Okay.
yeah, and it's just collingwoodtoday.ca, I think.
Collingwood today.
Yeah.
But a lot of people live out there in Collingwood, so
Yeah.
what you're seeing, because some of these places you would just hear of and people are like, where's that? If it's not Toronto or you're in the immediate areas, it's like, where's that? I don't know, someplace.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, but they're nice areas.
Oh yeah,
Most people,
we're right on Georgian Bay. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. It's a gorgeous
beach time.
Yes, yes, exactly. Right next door to the longest freshwater beach, right, in the world. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. No,
yeah.
but but a lot of people, everybody goes away, but then they realize if they go up to these like Georgian Bays and these places, they'll say, oh my goodness, the waters looks almost the same there.
I know it's awesome, actually, and you can't even see the shore on the other side, so you can pretend you're at the ocean.
Yeah, wherever, just say, oh, we're in Barbados. Oh.
Yeah.
we went there for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And then we stopped off at the reserve in the midst of it all.
Yeah.
So when you do your creative writing, where do you do it? You do it mostly at your house, in the back, or?
Yeah, I have a home office, so I do all kinds of things because I do like I'm a poet and then I'm a writer, but then I do all kinds of other stuff that's just supporting community as well. So I do a lot of workshops and different things like that.
Like what type?
Oh gosh, and it like sometimes they're poetry workshops, and then other times they're just like talking about governance and helping people understand that they did exist, and that there's still lots of things that can be pulled from them that might be helpful and useful and complement what's here today. So
Wow.
yeah.
So does your community, your Indigenous, the Mohawk community, where you guys, do they support you putting out information and
Mostly,
stuff?
yes. Yes,
Okay.
I think most people do. I mean, there's
Okay.
always going to be those.
The one, why are you doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Shame.
Exactly. And I kind of understand that some people want to protect it because of what's happened in the past. There's still a lot of fear around things getting co-opted and taken, and just that narrative's changed on us and things like that. And so I get it. I understand why, but also I just truly believe that we need to be open to sharing our cultures and we can't find a pathway forward together unless we understand each other and where we come from. So
Right. And a lot of people now, that have Caribbean background and stuff, now we're being told we have Indian and Native and stuff in us. And because we didn't know, because when they settled, and then before they came, and then they found here, and you guys were here first, and stuff, people didn't know because everybody they were all interracial, intertwined with each other. So people say different things. So I said, well, like I have like Arawak Indian in me, and then I have Carib.
oh, okay.
So it's and a lot of people are finding themselves to have Mohawk. A lot of people are finding having, and some of our parents never told us these things, and people were saying, you guys look a little different. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah. And the funny thing is that actually happens for some of our people with the Black community as well.
Yes.
They find out later on that they have a Black lineage as well. So it's interesting how people thought they had to protect their identity from these things at one time, and I'm just so glad we're at a place where we can be very proud.
Well, they killed a lot of the Arawak
Mm.
the Arawak Indians back in the times, because they were known to be a very spiritual,
Oh,
and they knew things, and they knew a lot of stuff, and everything was on right when they told people. Boom, it was right there. They know.
yeah.
So they killed a lot of them, but a lot of them survived, obviously, because I got enemies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, no, but it's really bad how they make people suffer,
Yeah.
because of something, and they just kill you like that.
Hmm.
They lived in the same things, the teepees, and they had all that, because I looked it up, and I
Wow.
said, wow. And
Yeah.
then I looked and I said, "Oh my gosh, they look similar to my dad's." And
Oh,
you could see the
wow.
nose. Well, you could see it
Yeah.
in the nose. You could see it, and the different features. And you look back and you say, "Well, geez, look at that. A part of our history is that's where we're coming from."
Yeah. Yeah. I know
And
it.
I guess with you guys, the same thing too. Even though you know where you're coming from, you just have to find out, well, where did you come from that you landed here before
Hmm.
everybody else came.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, exactly. And I know too that prior to colonization, we were in what is now like Upper New York State. So
Oh,
we actually our people actually got separated during the U.S. Like the Revolution.
yeah. So
Like
some was over there and some was over there, but you guys are
yeah,
all still together. But when
yeah,
it got separated,
yeah,
imagine that, this continent that we're on is, North America. We could have been all one continent, but then
yeah.
separated, and then part of us was here or there. So
Yeah, and part of the reason that's not true is because we a lot allied with them, with
yeah,
the British, and so that's part of the reason why Canada is Canada,
yeah.
with our involvement in that. So yeah, it's interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and we applaud you, people coming out and educating people, telling people things, because back maybe few decades ago, a
Mhm.
lot of people, you couldn't really talk about your cultures like that.
So true. Yeah.
Everybody was hidden to, if they were Indian, oh no, I'm from somewhere else, so
Hmm.
that they could work.
Yeah,
Some people even changed their name, whatever
absolutely.
their name was, so they can go and work
Hmm.
in the society. Some people did that, even though they know their name was whatever it was, and then they said, "Well, I'm not going to get work, and I'm not going to be able to go to school,
Yeah,
so I'm going to change my name."
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that was
So,
definitely happening, and um, I, yeah, I think there was like a lot of seeing safety in assimilating, right? Because it's just you can blend in then, right? And you don't have
yeah,
to, yeah, yeah,
and
and
a lot of the Spanish community went through that also, because they couldn't tell people that they were
right.
Spanish
Hmm.
until maybe a couple decades ago. People now, oh yes, yes, I am. I'm
Yeah,
I have Latin. I'm from the Latin community, because they wouldn't have gotten accepted.
that's so true. Yeah,
So it's so glad that we have evolved, even though they still have a lot of hurdles to go through.
sure.
But we have everybody has evolved to now. Wait a minute. Let me check my background, my lineage. Let me check what's going on here.
Mm.
Let me see what it is, because a lot of things got destroyed in fires and
Oh,
floods, and
yes, absolutely, absolutely, and artifacts that were taken from
yeah.
us and put in museums and all kinds of things,
And
right?
it's like, that's not your artifact. Hello,
Yeah, yeah,
can you can you give it back? You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and they're starting
what?
to, right? That is happening, which is really good to see. Like taking them back to their rightful owners so that they can be cared for and then educated properly. Properly.
Yeah, and it's not there. But look at the Statue of Liberty. Everybody thought that was in New York. Jersey took it back. It's actually in the Jersey waters.
Right, right.
So I'm saying all this time it's New York, New York. That's the thing. Now
Yeah,
they're saying no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
I never thought of
That's
that
not part of
example.
New
It's
York.
so true. Yeah, yeah.
That's not a part of NYC. That's not.
Right, right,
And for decades that was part of their thing. So now they have to give it to the rightful state
right.
that it belongs to.
Yeah. Oh, so interesting.
So no, but it's crazy. I know. I heard that too. I was like, wow. So I said all this time, everybody has that from New York and got the Statue of Liberty. I think it's from New York, but it's
Yeah.
not, because they went back and they checked, and it wasn't.
Wow.
Yes. So what's up? What do you do? So you do workshops all through the year? Is that what you do, or?
Yeah, and I do some things with some of the schools. Like there's a organization I work with that brings in virtual workshops, like they're virtual field trips for
Okay.
Indigenous communities that are way up north that are isolated and they can't really go
Oh,
anywhere.
that's good.
So they'll bring different artists in or different people from different fields
Background.
and just to give them something that they just wouldn't be able to access otherwise. So I do some of that as well. So yeah, there's just like a little bit of education and different things. So yeah, I all over the place. But it's really great because I
Okay.
find that people are very open nowadays to, they want to hear the stories, they want to understand what happened, and they want to know how to move forward, right? So I think there's a lot of people that are willing to listen. So it's been really good work. Yeah.
So do you charge for the sessions, or when the people come?
It depends.
Okay.
But some of these organizations, they're already set up. They are already set up to pay the people that they bring
Okay.
in. And then other times I do volunteer sometimes, depending on the
Okay.
organization and if they're charitable and things like that. That all matters to me, whether, so as long as they're not making money off of me.
Okay.
And I'm providing something that's of value to the people I really want to
Okay.
serve, then I will volunteer sometimes, but most of the time I'm paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that coin is always good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because when it's gig work
Because
like
you can't live off of air,
no,
even
but
if you might try to. But
yeah, 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 but it feels like gig work, right? Like you're just here and there. So there's nothing consistent about my income. So I have to rely on the generosity of the organizations that are
all right. So, is there anything that you would like that you're going to be doing, that you're going to be adding to your workshops, or that you can want to tell people about?
Well, I also am doing as poet laureate. So as in that role, I'm in Collingwood. I'm actually have been putting on a series that we call Yonheowe, which in Ganigehar, the Mohawk language, means everlasting life. And it's all about contemporary Indigenous storytelling, because I think there are lots of ways people can educate themselves about the history and what's happened in Canada. But I want to start talking too about all of the really wonderful things that people are doing now, today, and through all the different mediums of art. So there's been dance and music and film and documentaries, and we've just been um, putting them out here at the Simcoe Street Theatre, which is here in Collingwood. And we've had a great response, and I'm hosting that, co-producing and hosting those shows. So we've had 4 of them, and we have 1 more for sure coming in the fall. And
Okay.
because I'm into arts all over the place too, because I do community theater as well and stuff like
Oh my God, all around her.
yeah, so it's really fun. So I love doing some of the background work too in the arts, where we're producing and curating and stuff like that as well. So I'm trying to be versatile so that I can support others in all these ways as well.
Okay. All right. So, are there any shout outs you could want to give? And you can also speak in your language, or.
Oh, I mean, I'm just shout out to all my relatives, and that means everybody. I don't want to pick and choose. I'm just so grateful. I'm just hopeful that I can be that person that people never feel. I think we're in a climate sometimes where we're a little bit worried about what we can ask and what if we don't want to say the wrong things. We don't want to hurt people, and I'm just trying to be that person that it's okay to misstep. It's all right. I'll gently guide you. And so, yeah, I just love all the people that I've met in this world and the people that have shared stories with me. And so I don't want to pick people. I just
Okay. All right. So, is there any special message that you want to give your people in your language, and then you can tell us your social medias and where they can follow you?
I think the one thing that I will say that's really important to Indigenous peoples all over the world. I mean, that's not just here. We need to get back to the land. I think you're talking about the laughter and how important that is. And so too is, nature and getting out there. That's our medicine too. Our Mother Earth gives us everything we need, truly. And so we got to show her that gratitude and reciprocity, right? Like give back to her as well. So make sure we're spending time with her. Because she's got lots to give us, and we can just there's so much to be grateful for. So I think that that's the message I would want to leave. And then my social.
And you can give us those earrings.
Oh yeah. See, these are Indigenous artists. And then my socials, I only have Instagram. I really am a bit of an anti-social media person. I only have Instagram because I feel like I kind of have to for the work I do.
Okay.
But so it's just, JK _Morris_less. So it's kind of a pun there. More is less.
More or less. Okay. They will find you.
Yes. And then you can seek out my column as well in Collingwood Today. I'm sure if you just Google Jillian Morris Collingwood, you'd probably find it.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
She's not hidden.
No, I'm Googleable now, I guess.
Okay. All right, well, people, if you want to get to know, different things, she's a woman in all trades. So she does a lot of stuff in community and all kinds of things. And if you want her to come and teach you something in wherever you are at, I'm pretty sure you could just reach out to her and she'll work something out with you.
Absolutely.
All right. So, I do want to thank you, Jillian, for telling us your story and where you've been and how it's all came together. And she's up there in Collingwood, people. So if you want to take the drive up, if you're in the GTA area or if you're anywhere else,
the drive.
she can probably take you on a tour. She can probably take you on a tour out there. So I do want to thank you, Jillian. You'll come back, and when you get she doesn't have the actual book yet, so we're just going to have to look out for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, everybody. Thank you for watching and tuning in. Good night and bye for now.